Second article from the chapter Memories of My Childhood, and the article is We Too Are Human Beings by Bama. Again, this is the pen name of the writer, Bama. So she wants to say that they are also human beings like others. Doesn't matter they belong to marginalized community, they belong to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, but under the skin, all human beings are same. When I was studying in third class, I hadn't yet heard people speak openly of untouchability. Openly, there was no discrimination. She has not heard anybody saying that you are untouchable, but I had already seen, felt, and experienced and been humiliated by what it is. She has been made to feel like that she is untouchable. I was walking home from school one day, an old bag hanging from my shoulder. It was actually possible to walk the distance in 10 minutes, but usually it would take me 30 minutes at the very least to reach home. Why she used to take so much time to reach home? It would take me half an hour to an hour to dwindle just to keep on wandering here and there, walking along the sides, watching all the fun and games that were going on, all the entertaining novelties and oddities in the streets, the shops, and the bazaar. There was so much that used to pull her or made her stand still. The performing monkey, the snake which the snake charmer has kept in its box, the displayed from time to time, the cyclist who had not got off. You must have seen some village games. There is a cyclist who keep on cycling throughout the day to get the money. Such games were very common in her village, who kept paddling as hard as he could from break of the day, and rupees note that were pinned, that were thrown on his shirt to spur on him, the spinning wheels, the Mariata temple, the huge bell ringing there, the Pongal offerings. These were all different things. The sight of attraction for her being cooked in front of the temple, the dried fish stall by the statue of Gandhi, the sweet stall, the stall selling fried snacks. You can keep on going, so on, and all the other shops, each next to each other, the street light always demonstrating how it could change from blue to violet, the Nirunkavan hunter gypsy with wild lemurs and cages selling needles, clay beads. You can count on and on. There are so much which used to stand her still and couldn't allow her to move to the home. At time, people from various political parties would arrive. They have their stages to perform, to deliver their lectures, to address the public. Then there are street play, which you call nukkad and all, puppet show, or no magic, no miracles, stunt performances. All these would happen from time to time, but almost suddenly there would some entertainment and other going on. So that was the reason why she used to take half an hour or more than half an hour to reach home from the school. Even otherwise, if no such program is going on in the village, there were the coffee clubs in the bazaar, there are streets, there are restaurants. She used to see how the waiters used to cool the coffee, lifting a tumbler high up and pouring the contents into the tumbler held in the other hand. On the way, some people sat in front of the shops. They are chopping the onion. Tears are coming out of their eyes because of chopping the onion, but still they act very smart. Or the almond trees growing there and its fruit, which was occasionally blown down by the wind. All these sides taken together would tether. Tether means bind the feet to the ground, my legs, and stop me from going home. And then, according to the season, there are so many fruits and vegetables. There would be mango, cucumber, sugar cane, sweet potatoes, palm shoots and gram, palm syrup and palm fruits, guava. So many fruits are there. She used to see each and everything in the market and then reach home. Gazing at all this, one day especially when Bama was coming home, she saw that one of an elderly person from their village, their street, was coming from the market, and he was having a packet in his hand. So when I came to my street, my bag slung over my shoulder. At the opposite street corner, through the threshing floor had been set up, and the landlord, the owner, watched the proceedings seated on a piece of sacking, on a, you can say, a piece of cloth spread over the stone edge. We people were hard at work driving cattle in pair. They used to get round and round to get the grain from the straw, and the animals were muzzled, their mouths were covered because they could not help themselves with the straw. I stood for a while there watching the fun. She used to see that how the animals are getting the grain out of the straw. Just then an elder of our street came along from the direction of the bazaar, and she was very shocked to see the manner in which he was walking along made me want to double up. But I wanted to shriek. She wanted to laugh in loud and with laughter at the sight of such a big man carrying a small packet in that fashion, in that manner. I guessed there was something like vadai or banana bhajia. Why? Because the envelope or the carry bag which he was carrying was stained with oil, because the wrapping paper was stained with oil. He came along holding out the packet by its string without touching it. Why? Because they belong to the scheduled caste tribe. I stood there thinking to myself, if he holds it like that, wouldn't the packet come undone? Undone means the envelope will break and the things will come down to the ground and the vadais would fall. The elder went straight up to the landlord, bowed very respectfully, and handed over the packet to him, cupping the hands that held the string with his other hand. The landlord opened the parcel and began to eat the vadais. All these things surprised her so much.